I saw you guys talked about the new WillE video. What was this really? Classic Era servers are officially dead. Classic and TBC Classic. Let's do this video, boys. I think the thing about SOM is that I feel like the idea behind it and everything about it was pretty cool, but I think its inception was way too early, and henceforth was also very early lived, because there just wasn't a lot of hype for it. As a person myself who's played like for private servers for like 4 or 5 years, and then also Classic WoW and also TBC, I think they definitely have a really cool thing they could do with SOM, but I think it was released way too early with the I think the wrong kind of changes in that regard. I think initially the changes for the raid itself and like all the raids were really cool, but I don't think hard raids are what makes Classic interesting. I think like that's not what really makes Classic Classic. But regardless though, let's see what WillE says about this, guys. Classic Era servers are officially dead. Let's look at this, boys. I like this picture, by the way. It's really good.
Absolutely love throwing around the word dead as a kind of synonym for, well, I don't like this thing anymore, I've concluded that it is bad, and you should not like it either. People...
Before you start, yeah, exactly, Ivana. As much as people hate the world buffs, and I also kind of hated picking them up myself, the world buffs are a really good way of making people want to play Classic. Like, it incentivizes world PvP, it incentivizes running around and doing stuff, and, bro, I'm not gonna lie, man, entering a raid as a fully buffed warrior or a rogue is the most fun thing in Classic, man. It is so fun having a fully decked out, buffed up character, man. Yes, it also sucks when you die. It's the worst thing that could ever happen. But it also makes it a little bit exciting, because, like, you know, there's some tension in regards to, like, oh, if you live or die, right, in the raid. But yeah, let's see what he's gonna say.
To this day call retail World of Warcraft dead, when just wait and see for the Dragonflight launch, that'll show you how dead it really is. If you wanted a truly dead MMO, WildStar is over there. But when I use the word dead for Classic Era servers, I really mean it. Well, okay, when I say dead, more dead, deader, I suppose is appropriate. That's kind of giving you the idea that there were real signs of life beyond a hopeful forum post or a Reddit thread, trying to rally some new troops and give them a sense of hope, because the Classic Era servers just never really took off.
I just realized something. I've been talking about SOM, but this video is about Classic Era servers. Well, I guess we're gonna learn something about this today. Alright, well, let's keep watching the video regardless, though.
Recently, there's been 2 truly condemning pieces of news from Blizzard regarding...
Okay, I mean, the Classics, the SOM servers are pretty dead, but the Era servers are, like, actually dead. Like, literally, there's nobody playing those servers. I think maybe there's like 2 guilds on the entirety of Classic Era, right? Like, the thing is, man, there's just no... What is fun about MMOs, guys? A lot of the thing that makes MMOs fun is progression, right? Progression is what makes the game fun. Having something to look forward to, building up your character, making friendships, you know? A lot of that is what makes it fun. And in a server where there's just nothing new ever coming, there's no real point, right? Because there's nothing new that's gonna come. There's no new raid. There's no new content. It's just, this is what you have. This is what you're gonna get. There's nothing else, right? I understand why people wouldn't want to play there, right?
Regarding the state of Classic Era servers, both for Classic World of Warcraft as well as the Burning Crusade, which more or less say this didn't work, people don't want this, so we're just not going to be doing it anymore.
Yeah, also as well, Mr. Hans, you also want other people to play with. I mean, that's the big reason why like Fairlina, Firemaw, Benediction, all those servers are the biggest servers, right? Because that's where people are playing. You want to be where other people are playing, because it's not fun playing an MMO with yourself, right? You want to play with where other people are, and there's nobody on Era servers, right? So it's just like, it's a ripple effect where people just keep stopping to play, right? Because there's nobody else doing it.
Let's give them both a quick read over. First, regarding TBC, this was announced shortly after Wrath of the Lich King was confirmed during that live stream. They say, we're not going to let people stay in Burning Crusade who want to this time. We really didn't have a lot of uptick in interest in that, and we're going to make sure that we continue to preserve the original classic version of the game. We know some...
I think it is so shameless that they charged people to have their characters on the SOM, man. I still think that is so shameless, man. I can't believe that they did that. Or you want to pay? It's literally FOMO. You know, it is so bad, man. Like if it's like a hurrah to the people and you want to save your character, like, oh yeah, pay 35 euros for that, right? I mean, fair enough, they did lower the cost, but still, man, that's like, god damn it.
Some people really did want that version, so that version is going to continue to exist. But as we continue, TBC will just transition into Wrath Classic, and there will not be another choice or clone service offered as we did with the original BC release. So TBC Era is just straight up not happening in the first place. I guess it's not even dead on arrival, it's just not.
It shouldn't happen, let's be honest. It shouldn't.
Non-existent. This second bit of news happened a few weeks later and is regarding Classic, and I bet you probably haven't even heard that this is happening. That's how little publicity Era gets. On an official post, Blizzard say the World of Warcraft BC Classic character clone service will soon be cycled out of the Battle.net shop. This service will be on sale until its retirement on July 26, 2022.
Just make it free,
After that date, any locked clones will be removed from their respective realms and will no longer be available. If you haven't made a choice for any of your characters since the last time you logged into either WoW Classic or BC Classic, those characters will be moved to Burning Crusade Classic. The Classic Era version of those characters will be permanently deleted and unavailable for cloning. So what this means is after 26th of July 2022, there can never be any population growth aside from brand new characters for Classic Era servers. Any
I mean, I saw someone say that in chat as well. It's more like just like a Hall of Fame, right? Like, because there's no reason to really have a character on Classic Era. There's nobody playing there. There's no progression towards anything. It's just kind of there. You know?
Such characters move to TBC and eventually Wrath, and unused clones are permanently deleted. So when I say Era realms are dead, this is kind of what I mean. Can I just say here, if you're one of these guys who are in the camp of give me Wrath of the Lich King, I will happily play that for years, which I do see in the comments, it's not looking too good for you right about now. It's also worth a mention on top of this that there is currently no plans to do a TBC seasonal server either, unless, as Blizzard have said, there is a clear community demand for it, which I'm going to be real, I read the forums, I look at Reddit, I have a lot of comments on my own videos, and I'm not seeing any level of demand for it whatsoever. I feel like
the next big question in regards to Classic is, I mean, first of all, there's SOM. What's gonna happen to SOM? Then it's like, okay, when we kill Lich King, you know, when Ruby Sanctum has been out and stuff like that, what's gonna happen? Is it gonna be Wrath Plus, which is a lot of people are like, you know, really thinking it will be, or are they just gonna go, you know, Cataclysm, Mob, BFA? Are they gonna go down that route? I do think like Wrath Plus could be a very interesting way of doing it, but I don't know, man. I think they're probably gonna go down the Cataclysmic and then just doing everything, right? I'm not too sure, man. I'm not too sure, because like I feel like for me, like the classic games are like, you know, vanilla, TBC, and Wrath. That's like the three big giants, right? And then it's like, after that, the game vastly changes, right? I would say. I want Shadowlands Classic. I mean, maybe. We need Classic Plus, use the expansions content. I feel like if they decided to do like an actual like plus version of the game, I think Wrath has like the perfect base to build off of that with, right? I would say, but I guess we'll see.
Would be amazed if they did a TBC seasonal server.
Yeah, I don't know, Guru, maybe.
Classic seasonal server has recently entered phase 5, which is AQ40. The war effort is underway, though from what I hear, the autocomplete, which they obviously need, let's be real, nobody's going to go and farm 80,000 copper.
It's autocompleting the war effort, man. Dude, I don't know, man. Fucking SOM, man. I don't know, man. I initially liked the changes that they did. I was like, oh, this is some cool new raid mechanics and stuff like that. But I kind of changed my mind a little bit about that, dude. Like, when I heard that they're gonna, let's do AQ40, but just harder, it's like, I'm kind of getting flashbacks to AQ40 release and doing a 12-hour AQ40 with tips out and yeah, that was definitely something. Goddamn.
Or whatever you need on a seasonal server, but the autocomplete isn't working properly, though they should be into AQ40 relatively soon and seeing all of the changes in there. But overall, there is a small player base for classic seasonal servers, and that's the place where Blizzard will start to put changes into the game, much to the annoyance of the classic purists, since this is the only official fresh server Blizzard looks as though they're going to be doing. Also, I'll just throw this out there, I don't think Blizzard will ever do a no changes server. I reckon there will be more seasonal servers, however, and they will have more drastic levels of changes to them. So
I think, I agree. I don't think there's ever gonna be. I think Classic was probably the closest we're ever gonna get to no changes Blizzard servers at this point, because like they're over it now, right? Yeah, which is why like the private server scene as well is seeing a big come up again now, right? With that new server coming out and stuff like that, that a lot of people are getting very, very hyped about. I think I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, there is like a new vanilla server coming out, right? Which a lot of people are hyped about.
All roads lead to Wrath of
Everlook?
the
Is that
Lich
it?
King,
Okay.
then. It certainly seems that way where we are at the moment, and despite it being the most popular World of Warcraft expansion ever, I won't be surprised if there's a very similar sentiment when we're closing in on Kata, which again I think will happen as an expansion. So what went wrong with Era servers then? Why have these failed to garner a player base from all those people who prefer classic WoW over every other version of the game? And why are Blizzard effectively throwing this whole idea in the bin as a failed project? Well, to me, every single possible argument, thought and rationalization between who's at fault here can be boiled down to one key thing, which Era servers don't do and never will do: progression. MMOs need...
That's what I said. It needs it, man. It does.
Era servers don't have progression, so they don't work. That's
not fun.
Basically it. No new players, no growing economy, no new raid content, no battlegrounds, no class rebalancing. All the servers do is offer an environment where 25 or 30 biscued warriors can blast through next 40 once a week. But saying this, Era servers had a problem from the start. The first issue was the price tag on cloning your character.
Oh my god, I hated
this.
this.
Cloning I keep talking about is a paid service. Yes, this costs money, where you can duplicate your character.
Yeah, SOM ranking was a mistake. Dude, there's so much stuff that they did wrong with SOM, man. There's so many things. I like that they wanted to go like a classic plus kind of route. I don't know, but I feel like a lot of the things that they did, which is not good. They should have left like world buffs as they were with the chrono boon, and then I don't know, man. Like it's just not sure. It was not optimal.
Characters, so they're both available to play on the Era servers as well as the Alive service as well. At first, Blizzard tried to offer this service for a rather staggering $35. Predictable community backlash ensued.
I think, sorry for it, I'm literally blabbering, but I think the Chrono Boom was actually really good. I know a lot of people like they don't like the Chrono Boom because they like the whole like running around with world buffs and stuff like that. I liked it because like I feel like the Chrono Boom was a good medium between, okay, you still have to go pick up all your world buffs and you still have to like, there's still the chance you get ganked and like, there's like that vibe with it, but you could also save your buffs, right? Which is good. You don't have to be locked into your character to do it. You could just get a few world buffs, save them up, and then go do other stuff, right? Which I liked, yeah. People talk,
and it was lowered to 15. Again, this is for an automated service, but what can I say? That's the norm for Blizzard. I believe this was done in part to try and filter out those who really wanted to play Era, otherwise everybody would have cloned a character because, well, why not? Era Realms also began their life as just single servers, as they had been throughout the duration of Classic. And
they should have just made like one big mega realm, right? Like this is like Classic Era. This is just like the big Era server, right? Where all the Era people are. They should have done that, I think. Yeah. I mean, no, it wouldn't want to make me play on it. I'm not gonna like. It wouldn't want to do that, but like one big mega server where it's just like here's everybody, or like one PvP, one PvE, I guess. Yeah, a mega pint. Yeah. Well, that would have been better, I think, because like look at this, man. This is sad.
And after a good while of it becoming rather apparent that next to nobody was playing there, Blizzard took the very rare step of connecting realms. This is what they do instead of merging. By the way, Blizzard have pretty much never merged a server ever, in case you're wondering about that. This is where players from several different realms will share a server and just have their server name appear after their realm. They've done this on retail a lot over the years. And even if this was done from day one, I don't think it would have made any real difference. In fact, there could have been one realm per region and there wouldn't be a lot of change. It wasn't a question of it being Blizzard's fault here or them doing it too late. It's just, well, there's no progression on the servers. People by the end of Classic had started to see the holes in the perfect memory of the fabric. The world buff
that's just how it is though, man. It's the same thing. Every like last raid is always like, there's no, the next thing is like, you're literally gonna replace it with greens in like Howling Fjord, right? Like, it's cool to do Sunwell. I like Sunwell a lot, but like, you know, Wrath is gonna come out and then you're gonna replace everything with greens, right? And then the progression is gonna be fun though. Like, that's why like Fresh is so fun, man. Oh my god, I love Fresh. Give me a Fresh. It's so fun because like every economy is fresh. Nobody has any gold. Nobody has any gear. Everything matters, right? If you find a green bag at like a pick from Elven Forest, it's the most sick thing you've ever gotten, right? It's amazing. I love Fresh. There's a big reason why all the private server people, like, they spurk out when there's a new Fresh, right? Everybody just jumps to the new server because it's fun. It is so fun, man. The most fun you could ever have playing Vanilla WoW, Classic WoW, is in the first 2 to 3 months of a new server. That is the most fun you'll ever have in Vanilla or Classic WoW, man. Leveling up a character, grouping for dungeons, doing well PvP. It's so good, dude. You find an Assassin's Blade, well, bing, bong, bang, you got an epic mount, dude. Because it's like, you know, it's cool, man. Economy is fresh. Wrath will roll the gold DKBs. I'm not talking about the TBC. Well, the nature of MMOs and how it works is that there's always, unless there's some massive, big, like gold sink, like a natural gold sink from the game, the economy will always be fucked, right? Because there's no real way to control the farming and like the raw gold input. So like eventually every like MMO will eventually just be like messed up in terms of gold, right? But definitely TBC's economy is like messed up, man. It's so bad. It's horrible. That's why every MMO is so fun the first few weeks, no matter how bad it is. Yes, every MMO is new. Every game is. It's the same thing with every game, really, right? New Resident Evil comes out. It's so fun, right? Because it's a new game. You're exploring the game for the first time. Everything is fresh and good. It's how it is. It's how games work, right? Whenever it's new, it's fun. But yeah.
Briefing. Your class was just so weak.
Yeah.
The time needed to farm gold. People were ready for TBC to begin to fix the game or to make
They could have banned bots to begin with, for sure. I am not disagreeing with that. Definitely, 100%.
Class viable at last. A mix of all this has meant the population for Era just never got off the ground and picked up its own player base. It's a harsh reality check of what players really do want that less than 3 years after release, Classic is already moving back to its place in the memories of those who were there on the 26th of August 2019. As for TBC Era, well, they aren't even doing it in the first place, nor are they doing a seasonal server at this point in time either. And I'll be doing a full review for TBC later on now that I've experienced everything the expansion has to offer, but the overall hype level for it just didn't match up to Classic. It wasn't even close. And I think you can hardly blame Blizzard for not wanting to do TBC Era either. I'm 100% sure it would be a similarly eerie, empty world with a handful of guilds clearing Sunwell in their abyss. It's funny,
I think it's gonna be hard to ever match the hype in any WoW game in the future that Classic Fresh had. Like the original Classic, right? Like, that was so hype, man. The whole Nostarius thing. Like, Nostarius was like a unicorn, man. It was such a unique server. I don't know, it was so unique, right? And then, like, Nostarius got shut down. There was the whole thing about the letter coming in. We finally get Classic. Everybody was so hyped, right? It's never gonna reach that level again, man. That was definitely something unique. Very unique, right?
Actually, in the 2 quotes we started off the video with, they said, first of all, we're going to make sure that we continue to preserve the original Classic version of the game, and then a few weeks later, oh, by the way, you can't clone characters anymore. I get this feeling people are going to start to be nostalgic for the Classic launch at this point.
Yeah,
already.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's literally what I am right now. I'm like sitting here, dude, it was so fun, man. I'm like nostalgic about it. Can you guys believe Classic WoW released literally 3 years ago? Is it 4 years now? Man, I don't know, man. It's ridiculous, man.
A fresh just doesn't miss. Even the release of Season of Mastery was huge when it first came out, but there's just no longevity to these types of servers by the looks of things. People come in, they play for a few weeks, they start hitting the endgame content, and then they get the feeling of, yeah, I've done this before actually, and they stop playing. And that feeling as though people are quitting, your realm size is shrinking, and the game isn't popular really affects the MMO genre, especially Classic WoW, because it is by no means a single player game. So much of the content needs a group of players for you to be able to enjoy it on a regular basis. So when
not even just Classic, just like WoW, I feel like you need people to play with, or it's not fun.
Things start to go south, the player base just evaporates in no time at all. We will see what the plans for any additional servers at the end of Season of Mastery will be, but I really believe they have to go all out and aim to provide an experience for the players which will not be familiar. On top of that, they need to rebalance content and classes during each major content patch for it to see any real measure of success. Alright.
Yeah, I still think, man, I think Classic Plus could be really awesome. Or like Wrath Plus or something, but they need to like do it well, man.
I suppose there is the mandatory and copium-fueled Classic Plus, which I should even mention too. The idea that Blizzard will develop entirely brand new content for Classic, which, by the way, would have to start from the beginning of the game, not after Naxxramas. Nobody's going to play copy-paste content for 12 months for the promise of something new at the end of it. The entire journey has to be altered, which, I mean, well...
Guys, Classic Plus, we're gonna get it soon. There's no way they're not gonna do it. Please, come on. Surely soon they're gonna give us Classic Plus.
Sounds like a lot of work, doesn't it? I don't know what level of spaghetti code Blizzard have to deal with trying to get things working on Classic, but older games are usually built on tech which, well, if you were given the choice, you wouldn't use it these days. Let's put it like that. I'd love to see it, don't get me wrong, but it would be a surprise, not an expectation. And that's with the deal for Microsoft takeover going fairly smoothly as well, though I'm not quite sure to what extent Microsoft are going to be paying attention to Classic WoW. That is the news though. RIP Era servers for both Classic and TBC, but kind of for real though. It's funny, I've never played there, I never would play there, but I'm still kind of sad to see it go. Let me know your thoughts, guys. As always, thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I shall see you all in the next one very soon.
There it is. Good video. Is that how you were for SOM? SOM for me was... I said this as well before it released. I was really hyped for SOM because of hardcore. Hardcore for me made SOM really fun. That's what made it really enjoyable. Oh, good video, guys. I'll link the video in the chat. WillE makes some really nice informational videos about MMOs and WoW. So check out the video, guys. Go show some support to WillE. And very good there. Some really good talking points he has about the whole spiel, right? Which I dig. People ruin Classic by min-maxing everything. That's just how people play games now. It's just how people play games now, man. Like, you can't really change that. It is what it is. And you're right. You're definitely right. It's, people are way too, like, min-maxy and way too stressed about everything, right? Like, I know a lot of people are complaining about the whole, like, oh, like, it sucks. Yeah, great. Like, the whole, the boost, the 58 boost, right? But it's, like, literally 80% of people playing are just getting boosted in dungeons. Like, I mean, that's just how it is. For some people, min-maxing is the point. Yeah, I get that, for sure. I do understand that. But a lot of people are complaining about, oh, I can't believe they added the boost. They added the 58 boost, ruining the game, Blizzard. And then they go in and they get boosted while they AFK. They AFK boosted in Marathon, right? Like, Joker is running like 6 people in Mara, right? It's like, bro, why are you complaining? You're not even playing the game. It's like, you know, it is what it is. I'm not sure what to say to that, right? Because it's... You're complaining about the boost, but you're not even playing the game yourself. You're just sitting there getting boosted, right? You know? So many languages Guzu chose to speak facts. I mean, it's just... It is what it is. I do wonder, though, how that vanilla fresh is going to go. You know, there's going to be like a private server fresh coming out, right? Like how that's going to go. If that's going to turn into the same. Or if that's going to be like another unicorn, right? Is that going to be like that special server again? Where it'll be PogChamp, right?